We be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom. My name is Armin Navabi.
And I'm Ali Samani. We are your Iran experts. Today, we're going to be talking about how the Islamic Republic, head of their military, just threatened to strike all U.S. bases in the region and beyond, even into Europe. We'll get into that, the statement that they just released, and then we'll tell you why they made that statement, because it's not a good choice for them to do such a thing, as you guys might think. They're forced to act. Now, why are they forced to act? We'll get into that. It has something to do with the oil. The same reason why they're turning around Chinese ships, even though China is one of their closest allies. And so, let us begin with the statement made from the head of the Islamic Republic's military. We translated into English for you guys. So this is Major General Ali Abdollahi. He's the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Islamic Republic. And he said that the Persian Gulf Arab countries, so countries like Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, etc., just want you guys to know that nothing is hidden from our eyes, and it's unlikely that the sheer amount of U.S. equipment and troops in your countries is unknown to you. We know that you're helping them, and we're warning you that this assistance is tantamount to participation with U.S. military forces. So what this sounds like is, we know what you guys are up to. There's no way you don't know what you're doing, because this is your country and there's thousands of US troops and planes and etc. We're going to hit you if you don't kick them out. And this is the most urgent piece, because Armin, have they put out an official letter like this before, threatening all the countries of the Middle East? Because it's usually like, oh, our brothers, our Muslim brothers, we're just hitting the bases on their land. We're not hitting the Arabs themselves. But this time, this feels a little different. This feels like they're going to hit the host countries themselves.
To me, this is another evidence alongside everything that we talked about, Ali, that they're getting ready to hit the Arab countries hard. Everything suggests that, Mushtaba putting Mohsen Rezai in charge in the National Security Council. This new thing, that all the rumors that we're hearing among the jihadi people, that we need to go invade, we need to take this land. All the talks about our pilots being taken by Qatar hostage. We need to liberate them. New revisionist history of Bahrain being given up by the Shah, Mohammed Reza Shah, and we need to take it back because he gave it away. And all of that, like all of this seems to be setting, we told you guys that President Trump has very effectively isolated the Islamic Republic. And in a few months, if it keeps going like this, in just a few months, everything is going to, like, the crap is going to hit the fan, like, really hard. We are already seeing big signs of economic devastation in Iran, and this is just the beginning. So so they're desperate to do anything to make this economic isolation costly for Americans, and the only significant thing they could do right now is to hit the Arab countries. And I think this is laying the groundworks to make that happen. And by the way, look at the new title, because you guys remember when we show you the sheet, the Durka sheet, the bingo sheet of all the positions of people within the Islamic Republic. Abdullahi, he used to be the head of Khatam al-Anbiya, which was the most important institution within the IRGC, but now his title has changed to the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, because Khatam al-Anbiya and the Chief of Staff of Armed Forces, the Armed Forces, the institution that unites all the armed forces, that was an institution separate from Khatam al-Anbiya, and those two have merged. So basically, Ali Abdullahi is now in charge of coordinating all the armed forces of the Islamic Republic, which is IRGC, the Artesh, the Basij, and Faraja, which is kind of like the police. Plus, he's also in charge of the most important economic institution of IRGC. So Abdullahi has turned into one of the most important people within the Islamic Republic. He was already, but now he's very high. So I would say that after Mujtaba Khamenei, the most important military person right now might not be Vahidi anymore. It might be Abdullahi, or maybe they're kind of equal. But Abdullahi is more important military. I think the only person higher than him when it comes to military command will be Mujtaba Khamenei if he's alive.
So we have a huge target on this guy's back now. Now, what they've done throughout this conflict is something big, something that's going to rewrite a bit of the lines here. Previously, a lot of these countries in the Middle East were happy with the Islamic Republic being there. They got a stupid, weak Islamic Republic. Now that it's thrashing out like an injured animal and it's hit all the countries around it, they start finding their own alliances against the Islamic Republic, or they go more towards Israel or the United States of America, like the UAE has. Other countries like Saudi Arabia will, instead of trying to rely on the US and Israel, forge new alliances with Pakistan and Turkey. The lines have been rewritten. You guys might have seen a few months from now, maybe 5 months is when the war kind of ended, the 40-day war, about then. Since then, there hasn't been anything too grand. It's been preparation for another war that's on the horizon at the moment. Here's why it's going to happen. Take a look at this picture. This is the strike range of the Islamic Republic in the Middle East if it uses its more conventional missiles. If it wanted to use its more extended range missiles, if you guys take a look at the outside of the map, there's a dotted yellow line. That dotted yellow line represents the range, the maximum range, albeit probably not too accurate, that the Islamic Republic can strike a target. And yes, that stretches all the way up to London, for example, or Madrid, Paris, Berlin. It does go all the way there. So, and that's something on purpose. Why would they not do that? It's more deterrence for them. So, in that red area, that's where most of the strikes are going to happen in the next war. And the US is going to be perfectly content with perhaps not providing as much protection to countries that did not help it or side with it. And we see that President Trump is not shy of doing things like that. He's reducing his military exercise presence in South Korea just because South Korea didn't agree to help with the Islamic Republic. And
also because they need their stuff.
Yeah. And why is this happening? We just had a few months where we just got thrown up and down, left, right, and center, everywhere you could possibly think of. Negotiations. Oh, the negotiations are off. These guys are cowards. You can't trust what they say. Oh, but talks are going well. I can't even tell you. I think it's about 11 times that this cycle has continued, and we're back where we started a few months later. Donald Trump has at this point realized that a deal is not possible with them, and so the sanctions have been tightening up, and that is the meat on the bones at the moment. So according to this report by DEJ, citing the central bank governor's currency assistant of the Islamic Republic, there's a big problem. Half of the oil dollars, oil money that the Islamic Republic is making is not coming back to them. We'll get into why, but that is not an outcry. It's not an exaggeration here. They will sell the oil one way or another, but getting that money back into them is an issue, and they're trying to have workarounds to it to invest that money abroad or maybe black market it or something like that, but it's not really working that much. So, for example, we'll give you guys the thing. Last year, $20 billion didn't return to the Islamic Republic. This was pre-war. This is, corruption, people double dipping, things like that. Okay, so $20 billion was stolen last year from the oil money of the Islamic Republic. And let's take another look at why they might have to act against the United States of America.
And other places. In addition, a lot of pipelines, record numbers of pipelines are being built. So I think the Hormuz Strait's not going to be quite as important as it was in the past.
And this is words that Scott Bessent told us a couple of weeks ago. The Strait of Hormuz will not be as important as it was in the past. Why? Because instead of having ships put oil through, every country is now building pipelines. Even countries that are not related to the Persian Gulf. You have pipelines all the way in Syria being built to Turkey and to the Mediterranean. Why? Because if Iraq builds a pipeline and it has access to the Persian Gulf, well, then the pipeline can join up to a Syrian pipeline and go all the way to the Mediterranean, for example. Everyone's rushing to build pipelines at the moment. And so here's a couple more insider information. So you guys just got info from the deputy assistant for the oil revenue there. And then we have a journalist in the Islamic Republic. This journalist, whose name is Ali Abdollahi, and he is very close to the circles of power in the Islamic Republic, and he said, quote for quote, quietly transporting oil through the southern route of the Strait of Hormuz by the United States will cause the Strait of Hormuz to lose its importance and status. If this continues, the United States will not lift the siege, nor cancel any sanctions, nor release any funds. Couple things. The Islamic Republic had a chance to negotiate. They had a chance to get the MOU. They chose not to. In fact, the day they buried their supreme leaders there, they started attacking ships, which caused President Trump to be quite angry. I've never seen him more angry than that personally. Their negotiation phase is gone. The chance of, dangling a carrot in front of them is gone. Now they're just getting the stick, and the stick is getting larger by the day. The United Arab Emirates is joining in wholeheartedly, not because that they want to, but because they don't have a choice. For those who don't know, the Islamic Republic has been under sanctions for a long time. I mean, how many years has it been? It's been like 20, 30 years, something like that, right? These sanctions, the way that the Islamic Republic got around them was they had a guy named Khatami. They had a lot of other people as well, but Khatami came up with the idea of a shadow fleet. Hey, let's make the tankers, not in our name. We'll make some shell companies, bounce it around, money laundering, this and that. That's how we can get around the sanctions. One of the countries that helped the Islamic Republic for decades is the United Arab Emirates, because it was profitable for them. A lot of countries did this, by the way. It's not just them. Everyone in the region benefits from a dumb and stupid, weak Islamic Republic because they benefit off of it. Well, over the last couple of months, more and more pressure has been placed on the UAE by the United States of America, and the UAE has finally caved in. Not because they wanted to help out of the goodness of their heart or overthrow this regime, because they caved into the pressure. They finally realize it's more worth it to get rid of them than it is to keep them now in August of 2026. So, Armin, as we know, the Islamic Republic has two economic lifelines. One is the UAE and the other one is China. They're hurting both of them. And both of them, China hasn't turned against the Islamic Republic yet, but it's about to. The UAE has. So about 80% of the Islamic Republic's imports are actually procured through the markets of the United Arab Emirates. And then the Islamic Republic actually pays a premium to get these products from the UAE, about 5 to 20% premiums. That's why the UAE loves it, because they make money on it. And additionally, another statistic, just so you guys believe me, is that the UAE is Iran's #1 import supplier, and has been so for the past 5 years in a row. 30% of everything that's imported into Iran, not including smuggled and black market, is from the UAE, like procured. So maybe the UAE buys it from China or other countries, and then the UAE sells it to the Islamic Republic. So that's about 30, 40 billion dollars there. That's not becoming the case anymore. Those imports are decreasing at an alarming rate, but also, we have a pretty graph for you guys.
I don't know if people understand how big of a hit this is to the Islamic Republic. They're like, oh, the UAE just cut trade with the Islamic Republic. That's good. That's going to hurt them. This is going to devastate them. This is like a major kick while you're down. The Islamic Republic is suffering economically. This is brutal. This is really brutal. This is why this is headline news everywhere. Like, oh, UAE is cutting trade with the Islamic Republic. People are like, oh, okay, that's bad, I guess, for the Islamic Republic. No, you don't understand. This is really bad. This is really bad. But go on.
This is terrible for them. Guys, look at this graph. You can see that it was increasing, right? So if you're a good trade partner with the country, you tend to trade more with them. And then 2025, 2026 happened. And now look at it. We went from about $29 billion of imports from the UAE, the trade value being $29 billion a year, to now being 21. And of course, this data is going to be from a month, maybe 2 months ago. It's about halfway throughout the year. Halfway throughout the year, you already saw what? I would say 30% decrease roughly in terms of imports. So that's a huge number. That's billions of dollars worth of goods, household goods, cars, whatever you want to call it. It's going to get worse. A lot of experts, people like Miad Maliki, are saying that if this is enforced and kept, this total financial cutoff of Iran by the UAE would actually be more significant than the blockade that's being put on by the United States of America. The US blockade seals the Gulf of Oman. We'll show you guys that here. So the Gulf of
Ali,
Oman sits right here. Yeah.
This is interesting because a lot of people were saying Scotty B's economic isolation of the Islamic Republic will never be fully complete with the UAE still having all of this, because it's not just the trade. There's still, after everything, the UAE still had many financial institutions that the Islamic Republic was still using, even after the UAE was bombed, that was still in place for them to go around the sanctions. And many people are saying, like, oh, the Islamic Republic is being isolated, but the isolations will never be complete without the UAE. And here's the thing that people don't understand. The UAE is not a monolith. The Dubai region is not... So a lot of the UAE was against the Islamic Republic and for this. The part of the UAE that was resisting this was Dubai, because Dubai has a lot of financial ties with the Islamic Republic. But now the situation got so bad that even the Dubai region, Dubai is now turning, and they're all in agreement and they're cutting it. And this is what our Salt Queen was saying in the chat, which I think you should read it, and maybe you could answer this as well, Ali.
Finestra says, wait, the UAE is doing this first now after being bombed for months? Why wasn't this done earlier? Spineless idiots. That's why I'm telling you, they caved into the pressure, not because they wanted to. This is them being forced by Scott Bessent to do this, not out of the goodness of their heart. They can be bombed for months, maybe even years. Who cares? Touch their money,
and
though.
It's worse. Yeah, and it's worse because not only did they not do this, they paid the Islamic Republic, and I think $3 billion after they were bombed. And they're like, can you please stop? We'll pay you to stop. $3 billion. And the Islamic Republic went like, okay, maybe for a few weeks we'll stop bombing you, and then use the same money to go and build more missiles and drones that they now are, they started hitting the UAE. The same money that the UAE gave the Islamic Republic to stop hitting them, they're using the same money to buy the missile components from China to then hit the UAE again, which is embarrassing, pathetic. But yes, go on.
Correct. And where was I? It was right. So the Gulf of Oman is where the blockade is for the United States of America. So that's right here, guys. This line that I'm going to draw for you right there, that's where the blockade is. It ends just after the cutoff of the border of Iran right there, cutting off every single oceanic port. Actually, they only have one. But that is, let me get rid of that. So, no crude carrier from the Islamic Republic has left since July 12th. So that's about a month and a week right now. But what ended up happening since then was that the Islamic Republic and the UAE made a deal. Couple of deals. One such deal was, hey, UAE, me, the Islamic Republic, I'm going to bring my ships over here, just off your coast, and we're going to conduct some ship-to-ship transfers of oil. I'm going to give you some oil, then you carry it out of the Strait of Hormuz, and I won't hit your ships. That way, I get paid, and you get to export oil and make some money as well on a premium. Except the US caught on to that, and they gave the UAE an ultimatum: stop doing this or lose our support. And they stopped doing it. As soon as they stopped doing it, the Islamic Republic saw it as a backstab, and they started hitting UAE ships, actually hitting about 15 over the course of like the last month and a half. And especially last week, they hit, I think, 4 in a row every single day. Yeah, that's not looking too good for the UAE. So them, and only after the United Arab Emirates realized that even if I pay the Islamic Republic billions of dollars, trade with them, be one of their only economic lifelines, they will still hit me. Maybe it's not such a good idea to stay with them. I think this might be, this might be compared to that word called appeasement that perhaps occurred in World War II. I don't know though. So anyway, this was the image of the United Arab Emirates confirming this for us. It's all written in Arabic, but what they're saying is that's it. We're done. We're not talking to the Islamic Republic anymore in terms of the financial sector. It's all done. Commercial exchange, financial transactions, they're all halted. But that's not the only thing. We told you guys that they have another lifeline. It gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. If you thought losing 30% of your imports for a country was bad enough, which is crippling to say the least, already when there's a gas shortage, inflation, etc., get a load of this. Let's go back to what we have here for you guys. We have some Chinese ships that got turned around. Yes, they got turned around. This poor ship, and when I mean poor ship, I have no sympathy for it all, it's called the Hestia. And last night, we told you guys that this ship may have been fired upon when we got news that there was some missiles fired into the Strait of Hormuz. The Islamic Republic always comes out and says, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. We didn't fire missiles. Who else here has missiles to fire aimed towards the Strait of Hormuz? Is there anyone else? No, there's no one else. So we told you that this ship, namely the Hestia, a Chinese flagged ship, was going to traverse the Strait of Hormuz, and then it did, and we said, oh, the missiles might be aimed at it. Well, it was. The missiles were aimed at it, so it actually makes it roughly all the way through the Strait of Hormuz there before having to loop back around. It got targeted and told by the Islamic Republic that you got to get out of here. That's a Chinese ship trying to get in, by the way. In. At the same time, 2 days ago, we also covered this for you guys, another Chinese vessel was attempting to leave the Strait of Hormuz and was also ordered to turn back around. Chinese aren't getting their oil anymore. Even when they paid the toll and used the IRGC route to leave, they're still not allowed to leave. They got threatened and told to turn around. I went digging onto these ships and I found out that these ships were actually headed for Iraq. Iraq has been selling its oil the cheapest because it has been suffering the most and it's trying to make some money. The Islamic Republic is pissed off. Hey, China, why aren't you buying our oil? We need the money. Why are you buying Iraq's oil? I know it's cheaper, but hey, you got to help us out, right? No, the Islamic Republic didn't like the fact that the Chinese aren't buying their oil right there. And they actually fired at a Chinese ship and turned both of them around. Oh, man. China buys 80 to 90% of the exported oil from Iran. That's the biggest oil customer in Iran's history. The fact that the Islamic Republic depends on China for this is becoming their biggest vulnerability. It's their biggest liability. The barrels per day have fallen from about 2 million barrels a day to about 500,000, and now even pretty much way lower than that. I know that the United States says, hey guys, the Islamic Republic isn't selling their oil at all, et cetera, et cetera. There are ship-to-ship transfers. We got to keep those in track. So it's not like the Islamic Republic is making $0 from oil, but they're basically making $0 from oil. They just shot themselves in the foot, both feet. UAE and China are now turning against the Islamic Republic. One of them has already turned. Took them long enough. I never expected China to, I still don't expect them to turn against it just because a few ships were turned around. Because I think China could just put some pressure on the Islamic Republic, or maybe dangle a carrot in front of their head. But it's not looking good.
Maybe they could stop selling them man pads and some missile components. The Islamic Republic relies on China. They could withhold on that, or maybe sell it at a higher price.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why would you buy man pads, by the way? It's just weird, if you're trying to end the war, as the Islamic Republic says, a little strange that you're buying more weapons to me.
I mean, at least with man pads, you could say that they are defense. The missile components, that is even worse that they're buying from China. Yeah. And also China, by the way, China has a good reminder that China has been supplying the Islamic Republic with man pads and missile components from day one of this war, and there hasn't been a single period of time that they stopped. So if anybody suggests that China didn't provide support to the Islamic Republic against the Americans, they have always supported the Islamic Republic against the Americans. So if you see Americans being killed by the Islamic Republic, it's also being killed by both China and Russia. The Islamic Republic is a proxy of both China and Russia, and the Chinese and the Russian governments are directly responsible for killing Americans.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we have an article that was released today by Axios. Barak Ravid wrote it, who has the president's phone number, talks to him all the time. And there was a couple of things that I wanted to tell you about it. So Barak Ravid cited multiple U.S. officials. He cited the president of the United States, and he said a couple things. It's a long article, but I'm just going to tell you. He's saying about 10 million barrels a day are being exported out of the Middle East. That's actually 5 million barrels a day different than what Chris Wright, the energy secretary, is saying. So it looks like there's some officials in the U.S. administration who kind of got their numbers a little bit off, which is just one thing to note. Another thing is that the task force overseeing the Strait of Hormuz operation is actually being run out of Fort Bragg in North Carolina. So military, never in history has military warfare been conducted halfway across the world at this level. But they also said that about 15 to 20 ships are moving through the strait every night with their transponders off. Yeah. And then finally, that Trump said it's a waste of time to negotiate with these people. They're liars, they're cowards, and for now, we are not going to do this. But we perhaps could negotiate with them in the future. So that door is always open for them. And then, lastly, Barak Ravid also said,
transponders off and lights off as well during the night. They go through the night. They turn off the lights. So guys, imagine if you're on one of these ships, they turn all the lights off and they go through the southern route, through the Omani route. And, CNN did a report that confirms that President Trump is right. CNN, of all places, had a massive report showing that the millions of barrels are going through the southern route, and that's why oil prices are low. So that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, that's not all. They're doing the US is doing some high tech operations in this area. I heard rumors about it before, but this is tech that has not been used before. But lastly, before we get into that, Barack Ravid also, so Axios is saying that Trump is actually going to meet his senior advisors today to discuss the latest draft agreement and make a decision by tomorrow. When asked, the president was asked what he's going to be meeting about and making a decision about. President Trump told Barack Ravid that he's a solid 50-50 on the Iran deal or bombing. That's what he's going to make a decision about today, according to Barack Ravid. So, now we have some information from within the Islamic Republic for all of you guys. So within the highest levels of the political circles in the Islamic Republic, whether this is true or not doesn't matter. It only matters that they believe this. So officials in the Islamic Republic are saying the Americans are using specialized ships to remove sharp rocks and obstacles on the seabed or perhaps in shallower areas that may block ships from using the southern route of the Strait of Hormuz. That's the southern route, the American-controlled route. They're making it wider and bigger and better, which is insane. I mean, you got to like drag something along the seabed or something for that to destroy these rock formations, or perhaps divers with TNT. I don't know, but that's what the Islamic Republic believes is happening, and that's going to add on to the pressure that more and more ships eventually will transit the Strait of Hormuz. More and more pipelines are being built to also reduce the value of the Strait of Hormuz. And every day, the Islamic Republic gets weaker and weaker. Every paycheck cycle that occurs, the government isn't able to pay its employees. Armin, who is employed by the government of the Islamic Republic?
Oh my gosh, so many people. But most importantly, are all the armed forces, but so many nurses, teachers, government employees are a major percent. The government is a huge employer in Iran. There's a big percentage of the Iranian people whose job is working for the government. So, it's a command-based economy. It's controlled by the government, so you could expect many people's jobs to be government jobs. So all of those people are not going to be able to get paid. But most importantly, the armed forces.
Yep. And this is not that's the reason for why the Islamic Republic is going to act, as we said in the beginning of our stream, and why the chief of the armed forces released that letter to the countries in the region. Another thing is that because we conducted operations in the south of Iran, by we I mean the United States military, the radars have been all pretty much destroyed. That's something we reported on a couple months ago. What the IRGC are doing now is they have portable radars, like civilian radars, that they'll put on their fast attack boats, and they'll actually sail those into the Strait of Hormuz to figure out what's really going on. That's how the IRGC are now realizing that ships are there. Portable radar on fast attack boats. That's what they got. They got nothing else. It's not looking too good on that front for them either.
By the way, regarding President Trump's statement on 50-50 deal or attack, I don't think it's 50%. I don't think it's 50-50. I think the third option, the United States is interested in the third option, which is right now like no deal, no bombing. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. The Islamic Republic might force the Americans' hands to escalate, but I think that the right now, as we're speaking, the favorite option for United States is no deal, no bombing. Let's just stay here and keep suffocating you until you collapse.
Yeah, and that's not a bad idea, but it does hurt the people a lot here. You know what that reminds me of? I think about 7 months ago, Armin, in one of your discussion groups, I actually brought this point up, and I'm trying to see if I ever maybe like saved, bookmarked that video. It'd be a cool little section to bring up. But while I look for that, I wanted to show you guys that economic sanctions and pressure aren't the only thing that are forcing the Iranian people into a uprising. Last night, one of my friends in Iran sent me something. The university that they attend expelled one of their students. Why, you may ask? Well, I'll show you the video. This is the letter for them being expelled, and here is the reason why. Expelled. He's saying that they've taken our future. And listen to this. Listen to this part. This student has been expelled. Pull up his image for you guys and get you his name. This is just another example. I can show you guys. His name is Ali Reza Jafarzadeh. He led a university gathering speaking out against the regime, and he released a long letter afterwards about his statement. So I translated this as well, and I'm just going to read a couple parts of this to you guys. So make that bigger in case you guys want to read it yourselves. Okay, I'm going to read a couple parts of this. First, he speaks about how the Islamic Republic has tried to transform academic institutions into closed and controlled spaces. And then they think that by expelling people like him, that they can continue to destroy critical thinking and competence and compliance and promote compliance. He's saying, I entered university based on my academic abilities, not with rent or political affiliation. You expelling me is a sign of inability to tolerate different voices other than your own. Goes on to say, expulsion is not a punishment for me. It is proof that I did not choose silence. Your expulsion order may deny me access to university, but it can never destroy my belief in Iran, freedom of thought, and responsibility for the future of this land. Iran will one day return to its true mission, a mission based on freedom, meritocracy, knowledge, and service to Iran. On that day, what will remain will not be expulsion orders, but the judgment of history. So this student had his future completely destroyed for speaking out for a better life and against the Islamic Republic. Just one of many. Armin, how often would this occur? Maybe back when you were in Iran, back when you were in university.
So when I was in university in Iran, it was right before the peak of the green uprising, and I just missed it by that much before I left. But we could see already that the movement was starting to pick up, and I remember we were starting to, our university, Tehran University, was having a lot of issues with Basijis being on campus. We could see the tension starting to pick up, but I left Iran before that those tensions actually escalated. but we already had people coming, leaving class and joining some protests, and Basijis being on our campus. So it was a thing. It was a big deal. It was starting to become a big deal. We do have to be careful, though, Ali. Like, do we know about this person's positions on Pahlavi? Because you're likely correct that he's a hero, but sometimes the regime manufactures heroes. Like sometimes the regime creates anti-regime heroes that are also leftist and anti-Pahlavi, and it arrests them or punishes them to improve their profile and enhance their resume, and then give them platform or more media exposure compared to other political prisoners or people is punishing that are pro-Pahlavi. So we have anti-Pahlavi, anti-regime people, and pro-Pahlavi anti-regime people, and the regime sometimes tries to find ways to punish the anti-regime but also anti-Pahlavi people as a way to get them on the news and get people talking about them, as a way for them to eventually also go out and spread their anti-Pahlavi message. So we have to be mindful of that.
Yeah, and they've done that all the time. Usually, as you know, they try to redirect that anger towards something else, like the government or something. This student was directing his anger towards the entire institution of the Islamic Republic. He didn't say Javid Shah, because I think if he did, he would just be executed. But he said Payende Iran, things like that, which you're right, could be 50-50, could be a planned operation. I'm not going to rule it out.
Yes, we have to be careful. I mean, Javid Shah doesn't get you execution right away, but because there's so many people who have said Javid Shah. Actually, can I show you a video now that we mentioned?
Yeah.
Of somebody. Okay, let me show you this for example.
And then after this, guys, we have a good section coming up. Make sure you stay for that.
Have you seen this,
Oh,
Ali?
yes, I have seen that.
Did we show this?
No, we didn't show it.
Okay, so guys, this guy, so guys, the regime can't go after every single person. Like there's so many people in Iran who are saying Javid Shah and commenting Javid Shah and posting pro-Pahlavi messages with their own faces and everything, right? That the regime does not have the forces to go and arrest everybody. But they have to make examples of people, right? To scare everybody, to make it seem like they're everywhere and arresting everybody. And this poor guy, this guy over here, he posted Javid Shah on social media. So they're making an example out of him. They showed up to his house and arrested him for posting Javid Shah on social media. And they came to his house and they also found this picture of the 3 Pahlavis in his house. Okay, so and Cyrus the Great. So Cyrus the Great, Reza Shah, first Pahlavi, Muhammad Reza Shah, the second Pahlavi, and Prince Reza Pahlavi, the third Pahlavi. So he had this framed in his house, and they're like, "Look at this guy." So this is on TV, like they're embarrassing him. So
تحت تاثیر قرار گرفته و اینم تابلویی بوده که روی دیوار خونه.
Like so, he was under the influence of like propaganda, and look, this was also the frame that he had in his house.
این آقا بوده.
Look at the song. Doom. Look at, oh my God, what a criminal. Oh my God, look what we found.
تابلویی بوده که روی دیوار خونه این آقا بوده. همین که بچه این کارو کرده.
Oh, and he's saying his kid did that, right? So he's 41 years old.
شغلت چیه؟
What's your job? Oh, he moves stuff, right? So he's a mover.
علت دستگیری چیه؟
Why have you been arrested?
زیر پست‌های پهلوی لایک و کامنت.
So he commented under Pahlavi, pro-Pahlavi posts on social media because liking and commenting under pro-Pahlavi social media posts.
کاری نکردم گوشی بچه بوده.
Like I didn't do anything. My kid, it was my kid's phone.
لایک کرده بچه ده
So like my kid was liking stuff, and my kid is just 10 years old. He didn't know what he's doing. He doesn't even know what Javid Shah means.
ساله چه میدونه که جاوید شاه چیه که
Oh no, so the other guy, the interviewer is saying like, what do you mean your kid is only 10 years old? How could your kid know what Javid Shah means?
بچه 10 ساله چه میدونه که جاوید شاه چیه که بنویسه جاوید شاه
Like a 10-year-old kid wouldn't write Javid Shah.
تحت تاثیر فضای مجازی
And like my kid was influenced by social media.
کردن دیروز تو که الان گفتی گوشی دست بچت بوده
So you just told us that your phone was in the hands of your
استوری
kid,
گذاشتی همسرتون
but we see that you actually posted
هم
stories
بوده ایشون هم پست
with your wife, and your wife is posting stories.
گذاشتن در حمایت از پهلوی
Oh, your wife posted stories in support of Pahlavi.
تشویش اذهان عمومی کردیم
So you're basically corrupting the people's minds with these stories.
اشتباه کرده
And like we made a mistake. He's saying we made a mistake.
نفهمیدی
We didn't know what we were doing. So look at the poor guy. They're treating him like he killed somebody, right?
Yeah.
So this is what they do. Like they can't, because they can't go after everybody. Oh, by the way, Ali, when this was posted, there is so many comments under it that says Javid Shah that they removed the post. So the Islamic Republic posted this, and it got so flooded with Javid Shah comments that they had to remove it. It was getting crazy how many people were posting Javid Shah under it.
That's great.
But this is what they do. They, because they can't go and arrest everybody because there's too many people saying Javid Shah, they go and try to like make people scared by making an example of somebody.
Let's show you guys a clip of why this is so stupid. Two things actually. One, they have no money, and instead, because they have no money, you know what they're doing? They are saying that everyone in Iran should everyone in Iran should fund the sacrifice for 10,000 sheep to ensure Mujtaba Khamenei's health. Mujtaba Khamenei, the current supreme leader, is on his deathbed. The Islamic Republic wants people to come and donate to the government so they can buy 10,000 sheep and slaughter them to somehow ensure that Mujtaba Khamenei doesn't die. Each sheep is priced at about 250 million riyals. That's about $132. You can buy a sheep in the Islamic Republic. And this is just serving to piss people off even more. You don't have any money. This is what you want to gather money for. This is when you spend your money on. And that's not all, guys. By the way, this is Hemmati, by the way. This is Hemmati. This is like the head of the Federal Reserve for the United States. Okay, he's the head of the central bank of the Islamic Republic. He just came out on state media tonight in Iran, about 4 or 5 hours ago. And he said, we ran out of money. Sorry. Yeah. But it's not my fault. But it's not my fault. I didn't do it.
And it's gone. And it's gone.
He's like, I don't have anything to work with. The blockade, they won't give us. He starts whining about how the Americans are keeping the frozen assets of the Islamic Republic and things like that. Anything but to blame themselves for their mismanagement and corruption, for their warmongering. When you come out on state media and you're the head of the Federal Reserve of the Islamic Republic, the central bank, you're like, hey, we have no money. We're bankrupt. What in the world do you think is going to happen after you say things like that? If you just sent, a random reporter analyst to say it, that's one thing. This is an official of the Islamic Republic at the highest level coming out and being like, we're effed, we're screwed. Okay. So here, let's get into the section that you guys might be waiting for called Alligrams. And here it is. close out all these other tabs. So for those of you who don't know, we have a section called Allegrams. I'll go into the IRGC group chats, grab their messages so that you guys can figure out what is the opposition, what is the supporters of the Islamic Republic thinking and seeing. And it's not good. All of this week, we've been showing you guys messages that these supporters of the Islamic Republic are ready. They're ready to stop supporting the government. They know that an uprising is on its way. And this person says, unfortunately, the air smells of fresh blood. It is still unclear how many of these people are going to be killed, whether the owner of whether the Imam of, the Mahdi, the 12th Imam, understands it or not. We'll put it back into Farsi in case you want to read this for us, Armin. The English translation was a bit off at the end.
متاسفانه بوی جوی خون تازه میاد. Like, unfortunately, it smells like new rivers of blood are going to flow. بازم معلوم نیست چقدر از این مردم قرار کشته بشن. It's again, we have no idea how many of these people are going to be killed. Ya sahib al-zaman, right? And something Arabic, Ya sahib al-zaman. Okay, that's Arabic. So he's basically calling upon the Imam of time, the keeper of time, which is the Mahdi. The Mahdi, not the keeper of time, the Imam of our time, which is the Mahdi, to come and help us. So this guy is thinking that something really, really bad is about to happen, and he's asking for Mahdi to come save us. So these people, so summary is, these people think uprising is coming soon. So what happened in early January, these jihadi people, they think another one is going to happen.
Yeah. And Armin, I grabbed the newspapers of the Islamic Republic today as well.
Nice.
Here they are. Read what it says. Oh, it's loading. Maybe I can copy the image address, maybe. I'm going to try to make this bigger for you guys. Okay, here we go. Oh. All right. Well, I guess that's not working. All right. What does it say on the headline here?
کاری از تفاهم ساخته نیست. دستور کار امروز شکستن محاصره. Ali, we predicted this. Ooh, we knew it, guys. The newspapers in Iran by the Islamic Republic their titles are what Ali and I have been telling you is going to happen for weeks now, right? So he's saying nothing is going to happen with negotiations. What we need to focus on right now is breaking the blockade. So this is exactly what we told you that the Islamic Republic is going to be stuck in. This is which is the current isolation. They realize that United States is not looking for a deal or escalation. They're just going to try to keep them where they are right now, which means they have to somehow find a way to break free. And the only way, Ali, to try to break free, because they have none of their leverage points is working, right? The Strait of Hormuz, not working. Oil is still under $100. The CNN confirmed that President Trump has been successful. Oil is flowing through the southern route. The Hashd al-Shabi, Hezbollah, and the Houthis are not able to cause a lot of damage. The only thing the Islamic Republic has right now to try to punish the Americans for this economic blockade is to shoot missiles at the Arab countries. That's the only thing they have. And when they say we're going to break the blockade, that's what they mean they're going to do. Also, by the way, if you go up, this is Kayhan newspaper, which means that this represents the position, right? It's Kayhan, right? Yes. This means that this newspaper is the most in line with the office of the supreme leadership, right? So remember, something like Fars and Tasnim are more in line with IRGC. Rajar News is more in line with the Paidari camp. Some other newspapers are more in line with the so-called reformists. This newspaper is the most in line with the supreme leadership, and the head of this newspaper is handpicked by the supreme leader. And I interviewed the former head of this newspaper multiple times on the Persian channel and one time on the English channel, Mehdi Nasiri. I interviewed the person that was handpicked by Ali Khamenei to be the head of this newspaper, and now he has defected and has joined our side. and he's now pro Pahlavi. I interviewed him multiple times, so I'm very familiar. This is a very important, probably the most important newspaper in Iran.
Yep. And they're gearing their Islamic Republic supporters towards it's necessary for us to break this blockade. And the only option they got, Armin, as per usual, is to empty all the rockets and missiles onto the Persian Gulf countries. So that's what we will see. It's not just us saying that, although we've been saying it for, I think, slightly over a month now. Pretty much everyone's on board with this so far. If you wanted to just eyeball the other newspapers as well, just kind of read their headlines, like the one on the left there, just to see if there's anything of interest to you. That was pretty much the only one that I thought was, clearly
They're worried
indicative.
about fuel prices. Yes, that was the most important one. Worry about fuel prices.
Tehran. Guys, this is how you spell Trump in Farsi right here. Tehran. That's why people say Tehran, because it's pronounced Tehran.
Yeah, it's Persianized. For
Yeah.
example, train is Tehran, star is Setare.
Yeah.
And brother is Barodar.
And so let's keep on going. We have another person. This is in response to another post. So one of the Durkas came out and said, whoever negotiates with the killers of our martyred leader, Ali Khamenei, is a traitor. And this person said, this is another regime supporter, another Durka named Mina. She's saying, we do not believe in negotiating with the devil, and we certainly cannot trust America either. However, many of our compatriots who are tired of war like us think that instead of resisting, we can negotiate. Therefore, some people should go to negotiations on behalf of the country, and by resisting in the negotiation arena, show our own people in the world the evil and unreliable nature of America. Just to remind you guys that this position is still a very popular one amongst the regime supporters. The evil Americans. And then we have our next one. This is another regime supporter with borderline, different, let's just say, opinions and thoughts than the norm, saying, God, we are not enemies of our country, but we have to defend a place where a bunch of corrupt people, thanks to the unwavering support of the people who voted them in, are sitting in the presidency. They can continue their dirty work with peace of mind, and the people will make sacrifices to maintain the security of this ghetto. This is going to be better in Farsi here. So, guys, a lot of these people are redirecting their anger and their rage towards the government of the Islamic Republic, their own supporters. Do you want to read this real quick, just to see if there's anything you want to say about it?
خدایا ما دشمن مملکتمون نیستیم، اما زور داره از جایی دفاع کنیم که یه مش فاسد درونش به پاس حمایت‌های بی‌دریغ مردم بر صندلی ریاست تکیه بزنن، با خیال راحت به کثافتکاری ادامه بدن، مردم فداکاری کنن برای حفظ امنیت این پوفیزا. Okay, so he's praying to God and he's saying, oh my God, Ali, these are the jihadi people who are thinking of defending the regime.
Yeah.
Because this guy is praying to God and he's putting his prayer here. He's saying, God, I promise you that I am not against defending this country. By this country, he means the Islamic Republic. But honestly, are we defending these people like Pezeshkian, who's sitting on the seat of power, like with their corruption? So basically, let me just summarizing it, saying that this person does not want to protect the regime. If protecting the regime means protecting the powers of people like Pezeshkian, right? So remember, guys, a lot of people say like, okay, if these jihadi people, if they are turning more and more against the regime because they're losing faith in the regime, would that reduce the suppressing power of the Islamic Republic? And we said, yes, in many ways, One of them is that the people who used to come out and defend the Islamic Republic and fight for the Islamic Republic, they're openly telling you that they're not interested in doing so anymore because they're technically defending the people that they find corrupt.
A while ago, we started showing you messages like this. I'll tell you, as someone who reads all the messages, the thousands of messages, I'd find one maybe every 400 messages. I'd find something like this. Now it's like one every 100. I find these all the time now. The two.
So Bill, oh yeah, sorry.
The
Go
two
on.
big things. One, an uprising is coming. They all agree on that. Then the second one is the regime supporters saying, I don't want to support this government anymore. It's not the Islamic Republic I know, especially not with the current leadership. This is garbage.
So I just want to address this comment. Bill is saying, dummy finally realizing. No, actually, it's the opposite, Bill. He's falling farther inside the delusion, okay? Because these people's complaint, like understanding what that is not that, oh, they finally realize that the regime is corrupt. No, these people want Islamic governance. Their understanding is that the regime has been infiltrated by as if the Islamic governance itself is pure and the Islamic regime was a good thing, and now it's becoming corrupt by these anti-Islamic, as if the essence of the Islamic Republic is not corrupt, but these corrupted people have infiltrated the Islamic Republic and have ruined it. Okay, these agents of the Americans and Zionists have infiltrated, and now the Islamic Republic, they are against the Islamic Republic because they think it's no longer Islamic, that it represents something else. So they're actually getting more delusional. These people, this is not them waking up. This is them falling farther in this delusion, this fantasy world that they have built.
Armin perfectly said. Guys, they think the Islamic Republic can do no wrong on its own. They think that the bad apples in the Islamic Republic are enemy agents corrupting their precious Islamic Republic. Trust me, they'll never wake up, ever. Especially not when you have more and more people who says this. Look at this. So this guy, his name is Reza Falasorati. So he's saying most of our problems in Iran are just due to mismanagement. And the fact that the party ruling this country has no expertise in the Treasury Department, but is an employee there somehow. And in many other places like this too. Like they don't have expertise, but they work at the Treasury. Like how does that even happen? That's our problem. It's mismanagement. Otherwise, what does domestic production of things like potatoes, cucumbers, tomatoes, meat, and chicken have to do with sanctions? That's a good point. Maybe he's close to it. Yeah.
I mean, actually, no, because this guy doesn't understand how economic works. Let me tell you, okay? Let me translate what this guy is telling you, okay? This guy represents the type of people who think like, guys, we have the right ideology, but we suck at management, okay? Like we have the pure, perfect Islamic grade A ideology, but why do we suck at managing things, right? And then his idea of proper management is more centralized government intervention, but in the right way. So he's completely. He's almost there. Something that we have. I mean, he's walking towards the wrong direction, right? Because a lot of people think that, oh, the people who are in charge in Iran, they manage the economy wrong. And we should get people who are expertise to manage the economy properly. But that is not the correct answer. You shouldn't be managing the economy. You should just let go of the economy. The problem is that you think there is a proper way for the government to manage the economy. There is no proper way for the government to manage the economy. The government should say the F out of the economy. Let the private sector flourish itself. Get the hell out. Get the IRGC and everybody out of the country. Anyways, here's another thing.
Yeah.
When he says, otherwise, what does domestic production have to do? Potatoes, cucumbers, tomatoes, meat, and chicken have to do with sanctions? Everything, because that domestic production requires things from outside of the world, from outside of your country. The chicken needs, where do you get the fertilizers, the chemicals, the technology, everything that the whole world, there is no khod kafai, there is no 100% self-reliance. Even domestic production is always connected to international trade. Everything is connected to international trade. Nothing, you will never, if you want to be self-reliant, go live in a goddamn cave. There is no way to be 100% self-reliant. Everything is connected to everything else. Anyways.
Yes, absolutely. And guys, we have some really good updates coming up. But for now, our last alligram of the day is going to be geared towards Ghalibaf. We got a hardcore IRGC supporter here, a very hardcore IRGC supporter. Just take a look at his profile picture. It's just Qasem Soleimani, and another IRGC commander. Armin, you're going to enjoy this one. In fact, the reason you're going to enjoy this so much, I'm going to have you read this in Farsi.
Oh, غالیباف کاش هیچ وقت خودت رو قاطی تیم مذاکره کننده نمی کردی. وجه خودت رو خراب کردی. بین مردم ولایی به اندازه یک ارزن به تو اطمینان. Okay, so this guy, Ghalibaf, used to be considered a hardliner among the Velai people, among the jihadi people. He used to be considered one of the jihadis, not one of the negotiating pro-American, like surrendering reformers, moderate types. And this guy, who is like obviously a jihadi, he's like, oh, Ghalibaf, you shouldn't have never mixed yourself with these wrong people. How could you? You were one of the good ones. You should have never mixed with the negotiating team. You ruined your reputation by getting mixed with the negotiating team. Us Velai people, us like the jihadi, the people who believe in the supreme leadership, we will never trust you even a tiny bit ever again. Oh, Ghalibaf, you were good. What happened to you? Right.
Oh.
Yes. Right.
So, guys, that concludes our alligram section. Okay, we have some important updates for you guys, including a potential war between Turkey and Israel brewing up, some of the logistics regarding that. But first, we have a video. I got this video from inside of Iran, and I'm going to show you guys what gasoline in Iran looks like at the moment. I have to actually put this on a media player to show you guys. Okay, look at this. This is gasoline inside of Iran today. You guys tell me if this is supposed to look like normal gasoline.
Oh, I know why this is happening.
Look at that. That's the gasoline. He's saying, no wonder I keep having to go to the repair shop for my car. Our gasoline is water. So it's actually not water. They put methanol in it and some other random chemicals in it, and they dilute the gasoline. This is causing an incredible amount of vehicles across the country, hundreds of thousands, to have problems. The automobile industry in Iran already had problems. They're not high quality cars. They're very low quality cars. They're saying some people went and tested the gasoline. If you guys know octanes, right? You guys go, you pump gas at the stations like 87, 89, you know, those things like that. It's octane 57 when they tested it. It's bad.
But it's expected. You know why this happens, Ali? Because the government is trying to control prices, right? The government
Yeah.
always controls prices, and these private companies used to go with it because even though the price was artificially low, it was still not as far as it is right now, right? So the true price of fuel is astronomically higher than what these companies are being forced to sell their fuel at. So there's imagine you're sitting on gold and the government is like, you have to sell it at 1/10 of the actual price that people are willing to pay for it, right? So you're gonna try to mix it with something else, like, this is mine, I bought this and people want it at this price and I'm being forced to sell it at a lower price. I'm gonna give to people what I'm being paid for, right? So they're gonna mix it with something else because because they can't handle that. They can't handle you know, just giving this away at those. This is what happens, guys, when the government tries to control the balance of supply and demand and control the prices. It creates this is what happens. It creates black markets, it creates corruption, it creates more problems than it's trying to solve every single time.
Due to economic pressures on the thieving Islamic government, they added methanol. They added other chemicals. This is actually confirmed by the Persian Gulf Star Refinery, one of the oil production facilities themselves. One of the insiders leaked it. Yeah, we put methanol in it. That directly damages car parts. In fact, it damages metal in general. So people have to pay more money to repair their cars in addition to all of the other troubles that they have at the moment. That's going to get even worse. Way worse. Oh man, it's going to get so much worse. So
Fizanges is saying run the cars on fermented mullahs.
I mean, they're basically running the cars on medical grade alcohol at this point. Terrible. And let's take a look at this. So guys, in Iran, in Tehran, the capital, we have some really luxury neighborhoods. Okay, so some of there'll be mansions like this, right? These mansions are now worth more than mansions in cities like LA, Munich, Sydney, and other countries. So it's now $13,228 per square meter for these properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, the rich people in Iran are like really rich. Like
you don't understand.
Yes, like if you go see how the rich live in Iran, you'll then compare them to some rich people in the United States. The rich people in Beverly Hills, they're like poor compared to the lifestyle of the very rich in Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll come back into the Iran news. There's just a couple more things to wrap up on that. We'll give you guys an update on what's going on between Turkey, Syria, and Israel. Tonight, we got some videos. This is just breaking, actually. These are roads in Syria from Turkey. As you guys can see, they're rolling up military equipment from Turkey, just full-on artillery and tanks going into Syria at the moment. Why? Couple things. Israeli analysts believe that there will be an imminent war with Turkey soon. When soon, we don't know. But last night, the same channel 1214 of Israeli news was reporting that we were 50-50 as well on getting into a full-blown war with Turkey last night. Now, obviously, it's a bit of an exaggeration. They could have solved some of these things diplomatically. By the way, the clip is rolling. I haven't looped it or anything. It's just a convoy of tanks rolling into Syria. What people believe in Israel is that the Turkish government and the military will just wait to see what happens to Israeli elections that are rolling around in about a month or two. Is Netanyahu going to still be the prime minister? Because if not, and someone else rolls around who might be a little bit weaker, why not attack Israel? Not directly, but actually go through and attack or take parts of Syria. So at the moment, Israel and Syria are at a bit of an odds here because of this contested area. And Turkey has been pretty much trying to make Syria its proxy against Israel to some varying, I would say even a large degree of success. That's something that can be brewing up on the future, according to the Israelis themselves. And let's go into Iraq before we head back into Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite parliament speaker of the Islamic Republic posted this picture of himself. Kind of strange. Where's
no
this
caption,
picture? Pretty interesting. Yeah, he just posted this. Guys, look at him. He's blocking the Strait of Hormuz himself with this big ball. No caption, no words.
No caption.
Just post
this. Wow. He posted them himself, putting his head, having his head all right on the Strait of Hormuz. Wow.
This is in Baghdad. He traveled to Iraq today and met with the Prime Minister of Iraq, al-Zaidi. He even gave him a gift, which was like a dartboard. It's kind of weird of a gift to give the Prime Minister of Iraq, a dartboard. It's like a target, Anyway.
Read this, Ali. Read this. Dominic wrote this.
That's the Ali block maneuver. Look, his head is like perfectly, guys, look at his head. It's like perfectly shaped. It just bulges out on the top right there to fit the Strait of Hormuz.
It should have been a little bit more to the right. Oh no!
Dang it!
God. Move! Oh, okay. It was such a perfect fit.
Should have been multiple takes for that.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe he was like, well, if my head fits into the Strait of Hormuz perfectly, because the background's a little bit orange or like brown, I might just like look a little deformed. So I get it. I get
milled
it.
Into.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. So at the same time, a little bit hilariously, Farce News, which is the Islamic Public State media associated with the IRGC, are quoting this by the Financial Times. They put this picture of an American at a gas station, and then they also said the Financial Times is reporting the price of diesel, which flows like blood through the veins of the American economy, has broken records at fuel stations across the country, reaching $5.47 per gallon.
Are you kidding me?
Look at the audacity.
Guys, oh my God. The Islamic Republic IRGC is like, wow, Americans are paying $1 more for fuel. Oh my God, look at the Americans suffering. You mother tuckers, the Iranians are suffering 1,000 times more for higher fuel prices that you caused. And you're bragging about making the Americans suffer just a small fraction of what you made the Iranian people suffer? Are you kidding me?
By the way, then they'll come out like this. Remember we showed you guys this? This is the head of the central bank comes out and said, we got no money. In fact, we're actually doing really bad. Even word for word saying we haven't sold any oil and the Americans won't release our frozen assets. I think they got some problems to deal with on their own rather than picking on the price of diesel in the United States of America. So let's take a look at the Durkas. We have our Durka clip of the day.
Ali, for comparison, we have to tell people. So what's the, in California, so it's now like, let's say 6, right? And then normal before the war was how much in California? Like 3?
450?
4? Okay, 4. So a 150% increase, right? So let's say, okay. So the price increase in Iran would be like if in United States the prices went from $4 to $28. That's the price increase that we're facing in Iran, right? Don't look at where they are at, because people are like, oh, in Iran it was only 11 cents per gallon. it doesn't matter. You have to look at the percentage increase, because that's what people, that is the price that people have their lives built around inside Iran. So going from 11 to 70 in Iran is like going from 4 to 28 in United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$28 a gallon. Can you guys imagine that? That's what it's like in the Islamic Republic. And why is that important, by the way? Guys, real quick. The economy is used to running on gas that's $4 a gallon. If you suddenly jack it up to $28, $30 a gallon, ooh, you're going to be paying a lot more, not just at the pump, but at the stores, shipping, everything, food, everything goes up. That's what's currently taking place within Iran at the moment. That's a timer. You cannot sit back and just watch your country crumble, no matter if you're a terrorist regime or not, like the Islamic Republic. That's why they released that letter today saying that we are going to strike every U.S. base in the region and the countries that they sit on, because these countries are complicit. That's preparing the way for the Islamic Republic to strike the infrastructure of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, all of these countries with legitimacy, quote unquote. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Let's take a look at our favorite Durka clip of the day, ladies and gentlemen. This would be attributed to the city of Qom, the religious capital of Iran. Let's take a look. Okay, I can't listen to that. But look at this. They grabbed some of the Iran-Iraq war era buses and clothes and bandanas to invoke some sort of patriotism within the regime supporters, and are parading them around. Yes, all like 50 people around the bus. Correct. So these are all war era, as you can see here, 1980s Iran-Iraq war. Same thing with the bus. Yep. Here's the funny part. Most of the veterans of the Iran-Iraq war, who are now in their, it's like 50s or so, late 40s, 50s, they hate the Islamic Republic. As you can see, they didn't grab any veterans. These are all young men. None of them fought in the war. These are all Basij. These are the people who murder Iranians. They got no problem with it either. They don't have such a big problem with it that in America, itself, agents of the Islamic Republic yesterday broke into the house of an Iranian opposition leader who is very pro-Shah. This is one of us, wants a free secular Iran, broke into his home. By the way, they disabled his cameras before they broke in. That raises some questions. And tried to assassinate him. They beat him within an inch of his life. They thought they killed him, except he survived. And I think here's where they are talking about it, and that's the hospital in the back, Providence Hospital. I'm not going to show you the image of him on his bed here, but that did happen. So that raises some questions. So Behnam Ben Talablu is saying, one, Iranian activists, so people like me and Armin, should share this story. It's an attack against Pashai, who is the man who was hit and almost killed, not to just raise awareness within the community, but also raise awareness to the local and federal law enforcement. Why were the cameras in his house disabled? Also, you guys should all investigate if there's any connections to Tehran or any foreign actors for this. So this is one of the first attacks on people like us, Armin.
I have a history of this, by the way. I had to move 3 times. I was told not to go into the details of it. but I know exactly the situation.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay.
The risk we take is a risk, but it's nothing compared to the risk that people take in Iran for their freedom. So I think we have this left for you guys before we get into the super chats. The USS George Washington. The aircraft carrier set to arrive this week or this weekend. CENTCOM released this video of a time lapse of it sailing through the Malacca Strait near Singapore. This was a few days ago. They released this obviously after they left the area in order to avoid tracking. But we can see some cool little things on board. We can see several of these aircraft with those little discs on top of them. That's electronic warfare and surveillance and command centers, floating command centers in the air. And intelligence gathering. So just basically utility. And then we can also see a lot of the fighter jets that are along the side of it as well. Now, keep in mind, they chose to publish this. There's going to be a lot more on board on the other side that they don't want you to see. These planes do look a little bit older, which is probably why they, and known, so they showed these. You see some maintenance going on, some cargo being moved around, etc. When this arrives, there will be a short period of time that the U.S. Abraham Lincoln, the USS George W. Bush, and the USS George Washington will all be in theater.
Ali, you're not showing anything? Are you showing it?
Oh, I'm not showing it? Oh, thought I was. Whoops. All right, let's go. So, as you guys can see, there's some surveillance utility aircraft here, the ones with the discs. Then you can see the fighter jets on the right side. These are all kind of like known older models and nothing crazy for them to share. It's a time lapse of the past couple of days and I'm sailing towards CENTCOM to join up with the Abraham Lincoln and the George Bush. There'll be 3 at the same time in theater. This will be this coming week, maybe in a couple of days, maybe this weekend. The Abraham Lincoln is rumored to be replaced, although that's not officially confirmed yet. If we see the USS Abraham Lincoln leave before the George Washington arrives, then we know, yes, absolutely, it's being replaced. But if the Abraham Lincoln stays put, let's be let's be a little vigilant. 3 aircraft carriers ready to go, because otherwise, in my opinion, why did they wait so long to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln? There's actually a lot of other stuff that they could have done as well. Things that they're only starting to do now, which is, for example, they're bringing cruise ships to Diego Garcia. That's making some people believe that the U.S. Abraham Lincoln, instead of going home back to America, is going to go park itself at Diego Garcia. Its sailors are going to get off board and then go onto the cruise ship for some R&R, some rest. I don't know about you guys, but I took a look at what the U.S. Navy sailors are saying and veterans are saying. Apparently, the last thing that they would want to do after getting off the USS Abraham Lincoln for almost a year is to get on board another ship. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see if that actually happens. So, with that, let's get into the super chats.
By the way, I still haven't hit my goal, and you hit it like within minutes at the beginning of the stream, and I still haven't reached it yet. So you won today.
It's so like flip-flop. Like sometimes I don't hit my goal until like the last few minutes, and then you hit it right away, and then it's vice versa.
Yeah, today you hit it like within seconds, but before even I had 1. You hit 10 before I had 1. So today was a yes. Today I lost. But I lost, and I lost big because he got to 10 before I got to 1, which is.
I feel bad.
Yeah, it's pretty big, and I'm still not there. I'm still not there.
Oh, man.
Hello, New York Times.
Let me check to see if there's any breaking news at the moment. Oh, right.
I think
There's actually something else that happened in Turkey today. Someone flew an explosive drone into a Turkish police station. And then that's raising some questions. So the Turks are actually very pointing fingers towards Israel for that. And then right now, the IDF is conducting artillery strikes on Ali al-Taher Ridge. Quick update on that. That's actually going to be really important when it comes to Iran. The Islamic Republic released a statement. This is southern Lebanon that we're going to take a look at real quick. This might trigger a war. The Islamic Republic, again, this week released a statement. They said if the IDF targets the south of Lebanon, they go for the headquarters of Hezbollah there, we're going to strike Israel. It was different this time because the Islamic Republic is gearing for war. It wasn't like the past couple of months where you're like, okay, they're just bluffing. This time they're going towards backing up their actions. Now, here's what happened. So this ridge, I think it was al-Taher. Yeah, there it is. So this ridge right here is a strategic point on that green marker right there. That overlooks, it's the highest point in that area. It overlooks everything, and it's riddled with Hezbollah tunnels. The IDF just released one of their special commando units into these tunnels. They are currently in these tunnels fighting Hezbollah underground. At the same time, the IDF is conducting artillery strikes and a lot of support operations. There's actually a curtain here for continued Israeli operations in the area. And now we have a drone strike on Khalid bin al-Walid. Okay, anyway, on base K in Syria. That would be, it said it's near the border of Turkey. So it's going to be somewhere up here, which is interesting. Someone struck a Turkish police station with a drone, and then someone flew an explosive drone into a Syrian military base over here as well. And now we are getting reports just now, just very second, we're getting reports of airstrikes again on Ali Taher Ridge here. So it looks like the IDF are pretty active supporting their commandos there. That's going to trigger a war. With Hezbollah is pushed into a corner even further than it is, and they have to give up this strategic ridge. If they give it up, they'll never get it back. It's incredibly difficult to take this position. That means the fall of Hezbollah is even more sped up, which means the Islamic Republic is not going to sit by. All right. Our first one is from Benita Sarah Summers, who became a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
How did you read that? I would never. It's very hard for me to see what starts at what point, and you just figured it out by looking at it once. Like I never get these right. And I thank you, Benita.
I'm like slightly dyslexic too, so I don't know. But thank you, Benita. Appreciate that.
You looked at it and you got it right away. Thank you, Benita.
Okay. And Fizz Endresis, thank you for the super stickers for both of them, putting me ahead. Thank you so much, Fizz, who also says, remember to hit like and subscribe on both channels. Guys, we're here every single day. Every development that happens regarding Iran, we will cover it and have covered it for 6 days in a row, 5 days in a row at this point.
Wow.
We're going to be here forever. We're going to be here forever. Well until after Iran's free. But essentially what that means is if you have any questions, please pop them into our chat and we will do our best to answer them for you.
We'll be here for so long that even when the Mahdi appears, we're going to be covering that. End of times. Ali, maybe hopefully, when he appears, we could have him as a guest. Would you have him as a guest?
Nope.
End of times show.
No. Guys, we might have some good guests for you soon, though. We'll have some surprise guests for you guys next week. Any guesses as to who they could be? Oh. And thank you, Physendricist.
Thank
Hope
you.
you're doing better. And Joanne says, good morning. And
Good morning.
Joanne also says, Ali for the win today.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
I'll allow
Thank you,
it.
Joanne.
No, good job.
Thank you so
guys.
much for the super chats. And Physendricist with the super sticker. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope you're doing better. Got his power back after the hurricane. And
He
our
was
next
in
one
our
is from
group
Carrie
today.
Meadows.
He was in our group
Yeah.
call today. Guys, make sure you join our group calls. The link is in the QR code at the top left, and it's in the description. You could we have daily calls. Ali has his own segments that you could join him and talk to him. I have my own segments, so come and talk to us.
Yeah, guys. So I actually have my group discussion tonight. It's in 2 hours from now, and mine's not streamed or recorded. I just do it. It's completely free to join. There's no like, what do you call it? No catch, no gimmick to it. You just join, ask me all your questions if you want. If you didn't get them, ask them here in the stream. I'll answer them. We can keep it short and sweet. And Carrie Meadows says, go Ali, Javid Shah. Thank you, Carrie.
Yo, Ali.
Really
Javid
appreciate
Shah.
Javid Shah.
Thank you, Javid Shah. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. And CJ says, IRGC, biggest cow excrement artists. That's, you know,
Hey.
I don't know. I always say that's too much of a compliment to them.
Yes, cow excrements are actually valuable.
Very valuable. Yeah.
Very valuable. They're expensive commodity. Don't understand. Yes. But I get your point.
Thank you, CJ. Appreciate that.
Thank you, CJ.
And Physendricist says, I have electricity, water, and
Yes.
internet super chat. Let's go.
Wow. Welcome
he
back
said
to
Elon.
civilization.
I think he said Elon made Starlink free because those people
Oh.
got hit with a hurricane in that area. So
That's pretty impressive.
yeah, thank you, Physendricist. Hope everything goes back to normal soon.
Yes.
I always wonder what it would look like if I was in my house and a hurricane happened and I step outside and the whole neighborhood's like destroyed. I wonder what that feeling would be like. Maybe some of you guys have felt it. I don't know. Yeah, you said free
I had
Starlink.
a dream. I had a dream that a tornado was heading towards our city, and we all knew when I was a kid. And me and my family knew that we were all going to die. So we were just sitting next to each other and talking about our memories before the tornado comes. That's a dream I had as a kid.
Yeah, I had a recurring nightmare about a tornado from like age 7 to 8 every couple of weeks. And where I live, there's never been a tornado. So things they teach you in school, I don't know. Wow, yeah, the IDF is really pumping up its operations here in southern Lebanon tonight. And Joanne says, confetti, thank you. That was at 2:36. Wait, 2:36. That was 6 minutes after we started.
6 minutes, you got to 10. People were really wanted you to win today.
Wow.
Yes. And you got to confetti at 6 minutes. I got it like just recently. So 1 hour. 1 hour I didn't have it. That's good.
And
so
then
what's the score now?
Look at this. Armin, we have those types of dreams, okay? We're like, oh my God, it's over. We're all going to die. And then Fizz has a dream. I had a dream that the end of the world was nigh and I was with 20 girls. Different kind of dream. Okay. I guess we just got different minds or something.
That's the worst time for the world to end, to be honest.
Yeah. Thank you, Joanne, as well.
Damn it! The life is so good. Why does it have to end now? No.
And our next one is from Miss Hypnotic, who also says confetti. Thank you.
Confetti. Thank you.
It's cool when I remember all these people's names. I think that's something that I like realize all the time. Thank you, Miss Hypnotic. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that super chat. And our next one is from Bill Kennedy. Says, when will the European Union help keep the strait open? It's in their interest. Yeah, they don't care.
After it's been after, yeah. No, they do care. They just want United States to open it for them.
Yeah. What some countries in the European Union are doing is sending destroyers and frigates into the Red Sea, but only at the invitation of Saudi Arabia and only after all the countries in the Middle East already joined. So Italy has like one frigate, the UK has like a mining ship that's sitting at port for like 3 months. Yeah, they're not really doing much. We don't know. As Armin said afterwards. Thank you for the super chat. And Fizzendresis, thank you for the super chat, saying like and subscribe. Guys, you should do that. You should really consider doing that so I can get to my goal before my birthday.
Yes. Like and subscribe, guys. Let's get Ali to his goal.
Yep. Thank you. And Fit Over 50 Fitness.
Oh, by the way,
he
came over to my channel when he did that. He felt bad. When he said like and subscribe, yeah, he felt like, oh my god, Armin is at 0. So he gave me that super chat. Thank you for this.
You highlighted these. Amir says 12-7. Guys, I'm still 5 victories behind. I'm still 5 points behind. Just saying.
Okay. Wow. I think you're going to reach
12.
Yes, but I think like at some point at this rate, you're going to reach me, and then I'm just going to stay where I am forever. And then you're just going to keep rising. That's what I think is going to happen.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And Joanne also said, we got you, Ali. Thank you. And Amir the Cricket also says,
hey,
flawless victory this time.
Yes, Fine Sirs is like, why are you? I'm spreading some salt. I thought you would be impressed, Salt Queen. I'm being salty like you. Why are you laughing at me? But it's okay.
Yep.
Guys, we're just joking. I mean, like, it's good that you guys are supporting Ali.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, it's my only stream of the day. We'll justify it with that. And where our next one is from Veronica Redeemed. Says, Iran adur as domane. Let me full screen this. Reading poetry in Farsi is harder.
So you want me to read it?
Yeah.
ای ایران دور از دامان پاک از دامان پاک دست دگران بدگوهران ای عشق سوزان ای شیرین ترین رویای من تو بمان در دل و جان. So saying, oh Iran, far away from pure hands and in other people's hands, in the hands of people with bad essence. Oh, my burning love, Iran, my burning love. Oh, the most beautiful and sweetest dream, Iran, basically. Stay in our hearts and in our lives. So, Iran, yes. So let me see if I could translate it better. So Iran is out of the hands of people who are pure and in the hands of people with bad essence. Iran is our burning love and the sweetest of all dreams. Iran, stay in our hearts and stay in our life.
And Javid Shah says, Kia ora Duru Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Poetry. Always with the beautiful poems.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
Appreciate that. And our next super chat is from Omid Salute, saying, should Iranians forgive the Arabs once we're free?
The Arabs do not need to be forgiven. the Arabs do not. We are not at war with Arabs. We're at war with Islam, and we're not at war. We are our Arabs. Arabs are victims of Islam, and Arabs are our friends. And just because of what the if you're talking about the leader of Arab countries, that's one thing. But we are not at war with Arabs. And if you're talking about the idea of us being at war with Arabs is very much against what Prince Reza Pahlavi commands us. It's very anti-Pahlavi, extremely anti-Pahlavi, and completely against his philosophy for us to suggest that our war is with Arabs. But go on, sorry.
So no worries. So from what I know of the Iranian people, they have a very long memory and a long list of grudges. The government of a free and new secular Iran will not have anything against any of the Arab countries. We will actually first make diplomatic relations with our neighboring Arab countries and be very cooperative, very forward-looking with them. We will not be, you did this in the previous, none of that will happen in terms of governments.
Governments. What about the people?
The people have a long list of grudges. I would say many people in certain parts of Iran will be very unforgiving for most people, whether it's Pakistanis on that side or Arabs on that side. And then there will be a large portion as well, maybe like 60% will be unforgiving, 40% will be very forgiving. Guys, remember, a lot of people in Iran, especially the south, are Iranian Arab, or they speak Arabic, and they have no problems with any of this.
We have Iranian Arabs, and we're proud of having them as citizens of Iran.
Yeah. The diaspora will not be very forgiving at all.
I think you're underestimating, because anti-Arab hatred used to be so much more in Iran, and within a short few years, it has been decreased. And a lot of it thanks to Pahlavi. The mentality of collective blaming an entire population is backwards, right? There are many Arabs who are fighting on our side and are our allies, Arab people.
Yes.
We judge people individually. An Arab could be a horrible person. An Arab could be an amazing person. Based on,
yes,
we don't judge people collectively. We judge people individually based on their positions and what they have done, not based on other people who happen to be sharing their ethnicity. We don't judge an Arab because they share an ethnicity with certain other people who have done something just because they happen to also be Arab. We don't judge them like that. That collective judgment is exactly the backward way of thinking that the Islamic Republic does. We judge people individually, not based on the entire groups that they belong to.
Yeah. Thank you, Omid. Good question.
Good question. Thank you.
And then also, guys, we have some breaking news for you guys. Trump has come out with a new Truth Social statement about Iran. He said, "No one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically for them, they have failed to take it. Therefore, today, I am announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. This will be economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale. Their navy is gone, their air force is destroyed, their military factories are now rubble, their currency is worthless, and their country is hanging by a thread. Today, I am also announcing that any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. Oil smuggling, swap lines, cash transfers, exchange houses, ship registries, front companies. It all needs to stop now. You know who you are. This will be an economic D-Day. And we are in need of our allies to stand with the United States of America to isolate and defeat the Iran threat. These maniacs are on the ropes, and these historic measures will cripple them in their ability to project terror worldwide. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's the, okay, this is the part to me. That's the part to me. That's the important part. Any country that allows its financial institutions or anything, any country that allows anything within its borders to conduct, help Iran, faces tremendous economic consequences. Oil smuggling, swap lines, cash transfers. Guys, these are the things that we've been telling you are the only ways that the Islamic Republic is still making any sort of money. And now that's gone. From today.
It's interesting because before any of this was announced, we have been telling you guys, let me know in the chat. Haven't we been telling you before any of this got to this point that United States is going to focus, move away from making a deal or trying to escalate to just doubling down on economic isolation? This is what we talked about a few weeks ago. And right after we talked about it, we saw exactly that happening. This is the strategy of the United States because we saw that it's working for them. And now we see it happening. We saw that this is working for them and doesn't make sense to escalate from a financial and political perspective for the United States. It doesn't make sense to stop the economic isolation of the Islamic Republic. So it doesn't make any sense to make a deal with them because there's nothing to agree on. So they're just going to double down on what's working. Yeah, exactly. Shauna is saying economic D-Day. That's what's happening. Yeah, Omidia, Trump ain't effing around.
Okay, here's the thing though. If that's what he was talking about, if what he's talking about is the United Arab Emirates leading the way on this, but then any other country also can't help, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be expecting more than that. So I'm gonna wait for Scott Bessent to announce some things that he said he was gonna announce. Today is what, Wednesday, right? Yeah, so got 2 days left. That can happen.
What we have though is already so much, and I think it makes sense that this is what they were waiting for, because this was the only last remaining piece of the puzzle. Remember, people already analyzed that this isolation would not be complete as long as the UAE is still providing loopholes for the Islamic Republic. This was the last piece, and it makes a lot of sense. And even
China.
without this,
Sorry, go on. I interrupted you.
It's really hard for United States to push China around, but China is not providing the same financial. I mean, here's the thing: the Islamic Republic will be able to find some ways to create some financial workarounds, even without the UAE. But it's going to be very slow. It's going to be very small. It's not going to be able to replace what they have with the UAE. These things, these networks take time. And even without this, you remember Mossad, the former head of Mossad, his analysis is that just with the naval blockade, without all of these additional stuff, if you keep the naval blockade, the Islamic Republic will fall in 7 months. Again, I'm not saying that's 100% true, but that was his prediction, that even if we don't attack, if we keep the naval blockade, the Islamic Republic will fall in 7 months. But now, in addition to the naval blockade, we added all of this. This is devastating. This is devastating. So we just have to hope that the United States, we have to put, if this is what's working, guys, I know you guys want military escalation because the Iranian people are suffering, and this is not at all good for the Iranian people, right? But if this is the way that the United States is going, let's hope that they at least double down and get it over with, right?
Yeah,
like we have to push for them at least. We want more than this. We want this and military escalation, but at least do not remove the blockade until the whole thing is over. Because here's the worst possible scenario, Ali. Imagine if they put all of this economic pressure on the Islamic Republic for them to get a deal. and they get a deal, and then they remove the blockade, and the Islamic Republic survives, and all of the suffering of the Iranian people was for nothing. Like all of the hardship that the
Unforgivable.
Iranian people went through was for nothing. That would be the most horrible situation. So,
Unforgivable. Ladies and gentlemen, quick analysis on what just happened. So for those of you who don't know, he said oil smuggling, swap lines, cash transfers, exchange houses, ship registries, front companies. These are all referring to the black market trade that's happening. That's what the Islamic Republic has been using for decades, by the way, to get around US sanctions. It's nothing new. They're targeting those. They paved the way because Scott Bessent was targeting these top Islamic Republic financiers for a few weeks now, a couple of months even. But now here's what's going to be happening. So as we told you earlier in the stream, which is funny enough, we were talking about this exact thing today. United Arab Emirates is one of the two lifelines for the Islamic Republic. The other one is China. The UAE is now turned to and caved into pressure. Now it's forced to help the United States go against the Islamic Republic financially. The second one is China. China is now buying oil from Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Why? We also covered that. Both of these countries, Iraq and Saudi Arabia, are undercutting and selling their oil much cheaper. That's attractive for China. The reason why those Chinese ships today and yesterday were stopped in the Strait of Hormuz and told to go back is because they were headed for Saudi and Iraqi ports, not buying Iranian oil instead. That largely takes care of that issue, because if the Islamic Republic sells their oil for any cheaper than they already do, they're screwed even more. So China's going to be buying the Arab oil. The UAE is going to be no longer importing 30% of Iran's imports. Gone. No longer, no more ship-to-ship transfers, no more black market buying, nothing, money laundering. That, by the way, the UAE has money laundered hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars for the Islamic Republic. That's all gone. Things like London, banks in London will no longer be able to be working with the Islamic Republic. Hong Kong banks, that were also another big money laundering part, have already been sanctioned and are being threatened with even more. For any of you wondering what a swap line is, a swap line is when the central bank of the Islamic Republic will make an agreement with a bank in China. The bank in China will give the Islamic Republic a bunch of yuan, the currency of China, and that reinforces the Iranian bank's ability to fund loans and whatever they need to do. So they bring in foreign cash for their own operations. So no more of that. No more bringing in money from other countries, their currencies, to boost up your own. No more of that. Okay, cool. Check to see anything crazy. Yeah, so this doesn't have its drawbacks, though. This does limit the US slightly in terms of trading partners, but the amount of damage that's done to the US is this much. The amount of damage done to the Islamic Republic is this much. It's not even comparable. Today, we have hit $40 trillion of debt in the US economy, by the way. A little milestone we've reached. But all right. Let's keep going. That was great. All right. Our next one is from Bill Kennedy.
Before we read the super chat, okay? Because I think a lot of people think that I am, with regards to what Omid said earlier. Sorry, could unhighlight this one if you want. A lot of people think that I'm sympathetic to the head of these Arab countries, right? I'm not, okay? I'm not at all sympathetic to the leaders of these Arab countries. The only reason why I talk the way I do is because I am using, because first of all, because I think it's the right thing to do. Second of all, is because I'm using Prince Reza Pahlavi as a role model. I'm following his lead. And third, because I think a prosperous Iran requires an Iran that has good relationship with our neighbors. And that requires us being civilized and also not collectively judge people. And fourth is because I've seen so many people from these communities support our cause. I've talked and then interviewed many people who have supported our cause against the Islamic Republic and for Pahlavi. There are many people from this region that are supporting Pahlavi, not the regime, but among the Persian Gulf Arab countries, there are many people within these countries that support Iranian people and Princes of Pahlavi. And we see them and we recognize them and we appreciate them. And we have to. And that's what Princes of Pahlavi does.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Bill?
our next one is from Bill Kennedy, who says, Adi, does your friend have to wear a burqa always? No, I don't think, I mean, not everyone, not no one, but no one I've ever known has worn a burqa in Iran.
I lived in Iran. Yeah, sorry. You were
they wear like the equivalent of like a trench coat equivalent for women if they want to like cover themselves fully. And then they'll wear like a headscarf and it'll cover it like from here backwards. That's about it. Yeah.
So, yeah, let me actually show you. I lived in Iran for 21 years. Never have I seen. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who wear burqa there, but for 21 years I lived in Tehran and in Shiraz. Never did I see a burqa. So this is the more common hijab in Iran, like this. You know, it used to be like this. Now they don't even wear that. So if you're religious, it's more like this. These days, yeah. So it used to be like this, like a Mahsa Amini, but now they're not wearing any hijab. So yeah, when I was in Iran, hijab looked like this, right? But now it's just like not wearing hijab most of the time.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill, for your concern. Most women do not wear it. And they stopped wearing it after, God, I think it was 2022. About 2022 onwards, women just stopped wearing headscarves.
There are more women. I think there are more women per capita. Maybe I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if some people tell me that they can find more hijabis in London than in northern parts of Tehran.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. 100%. Easily. And our next one is from Nail Bunny, who says, Samantha just wrote, F the CCP, Armin.
Woo! Yes. Samantha is at war with the CCP. So her life mission now is to end the CCP firewall, apparently.
Did you know the other day she said Armin turned me against the CCP?
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Honored. Samantha, are you here? That's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Nail Bunny.
Samantha,
thank you for the super chat. And our next one is from Fritzy, who says, Pisak, that's a bad name, Volicki has a great podcast today explaining how Dubai has been acting as a shell company / money launderer for Iran.
Yes.
Absolutely. Good for him to talk about that. That's great. Yeah.
Yes. And they lost it now.
Yeah.
By the way, this is why I say that if you are one of the sheikhs or amirs, I don't know, in the UAE, when you see a drone or a missile coming at you, just tell yourself this: I paid for that. The drone that is heading towards your tower or towards whatever infrastructure or whatever you have there, just remember you paid for that. You laundered the money that made that happen. So enjoy, I guess.
Yeah, I think they stopped enjoying it. Thank you, Fritzy. And I'm glad that people are talking about that now, which, I mean, makes sense. You know, people are going to make YouTube videos about what's going on at the moment. And our next one is from Nail Bunny, who says 315 people watching, 110 likes. Remember to like the stream. That was at 3:07 an hour and a half ago.
Thank you, Neil Bunny. Neil Bunny always has our back. Look at this. Thank you, Neil
Yeah,
Bunny. Always trying to, guys. Thank you, and guys, yes, please like the stream. It really helps the channel. So thank you for that. When you're watching, please like. Thank you, Neil Bunny.
Thank you very much.
I owe Neil Bunny so much, so much.
Sweet. Thank you. Guys, Armin, one of the countries that will be affected heavily by this are Pakistan.
How? I mean,
Pakistan, they import, I think it was about 28% of their oil from the Islamic Republic. And they also have a lot of corrupt officials that work together to launder money and et cetera, like Asim Munir and Ahmad Bahidi. So the commander-in-chief of the IRGC has a thug, like mafia enterprise with the leader of Pakistan, Asim Munir. That stuff's going to be taken a look at now. Oof.
Oh.
Man, it's going to affect so many people.
Pakistan has the advantage of having a land border with the Iran, so they're getting a lot more. They must, when it comes to energy, they're one of the countries that still gets their oil from the Islamic Republic without having to worry about all of this Strait of Hormuz stuff.
Yeah.
So they at least been enjoying that.
This is great. So. Oh, and then great point here by Scott Smith saying Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthis, yeah, they're going to be affected by these a ton as well, even more so. They were already getting the money flow dried up. This is going to be even worse for them. Good point. Our next one is from Eric Henderson, who says the United States of America needs to give AHA a budget from the money.
Are you talking about Ayaan Hirsi's foundation? Ayaan Hirsi Ali's foundation? Because I don't know, I'm disappointed a bit with Ayaan Hirsi Ali's foundation because they work with Muslim reformers instead of actually being against Islam. If you're talking about Ayaan Hirsi Ali's foundation, I'm a bit disappointed with them because they're now. Ayaan Hirsi Ali has moved from being anti-Islam to being pro-Islamic reform. So I don't know. I mean, I still support her. A lot of the things that the foundation does against female genital mutilation. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I'm just assuming.
Someone said. Koalas Katie said maybe the Shah. Maybe that's what they wanted to type.
Well, but AHA stands for Ayaan Hirsi Ali Foundation. But maybe the Shah.
Gotcha.
If the Shah used to give the Shah a budget from the money. If you're talking about the Shah, there shouldn't be a budget. It should be all of it, right? Because it's the Iranian people's money, right? Yes,
yeah,
all of it.
That's our money, and that's our representative.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah. The only way this makes sense. The only way that they shouldn't be giving it to anybody other than the Shah. So yeah. So then maybe that's a misspell from the Shah. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Eric. Good idea. And Omid Salute with our next super chat saying these Durkas remind me of
Zehi Khiyal Batel.
What does that mean? What is the first two words?
Zehi Khiyal Batel means like sure, buddy, or like I think it's Khayyam poetry, guys. Is that poetry from Khayyam? So it just means like wishful thinking. This is what Iranians usually say. It's a reference to poetry when somebody is saying like I will do this and that, and you were like, okay, wishful thinking. You tell them in your dreams, exactly. So it means in your dreams. It's an Iranian poetry that Iranian people refer to every time somebody is doing wishful thinking. And the reason why this phrase got famous is because Elon Musk used it in a reply to Ali Khamenei. So in Persian, So Elon Musk used a famous Persian poetry in response to Ali Khamenei doing Gondaguzi, saying we will do this, we'll do that, and he just wrote under it in reply to Ali Khamenei, Zay khiyal batil. I end up being right.
Yeah. Thank you, Omid. Appreciate that. In your dreams. And our next one is from Nail Bunny, who has a question for us. She says, how did regime supporters not see the crumbling infrastructure and financial collapse and believe this regime is amazingly flawless? The answer is 12er Shia Islam. Well, doing our work for us. Thank you. That's exactly the answer I was going to give.
So wait, let me see. How do regime supporters not see crumbling infrastructure and financial collapse and believe the regime is amazingly flawless? Yeah, okay, yes, exactly. Okay, you answered it well.
Indoctrination since birth.
Yes.
Scary. It's just like brainwashing. This is the effect of brainwashing.
Okay, so wait. Let me show you something. This is this is what the Iranian people made. So this was the tweet. Khamenei said, "We will not give in to the enemy." Khamenei, when he was alive, said. And Elon Musk responded in Persian, "Zehi khiyal batil," which is Persian poetry for in your dreams. Okay, and then here's Elon Musk as a Sassanid warrior at the Iranian army, killing the mullahs. So people just, translated that text into this.
Elon Musk. Thank you, Neil Bunny.
Thank you, Neil
And our
Bunny.
next one is from Bill Kennedy, saying, are Trump advisors pro-Shah or free elections? Ooh, some yes, some no. Some just don't know any better.
Lindsey Graham was. And I think he was the most pro-Shah advisor. Mark Levin could be considered an advisor. I think many of them aren't. But Lindsey Graham was, and we lost him. By the way, being pro-Shah is the same thing as being pro-free elections. It's the same thing. In fact, the only guarantor in Iran of free elections would be the Shah.
True.
Yeah.
JD Vance isn't, probably.
No. JD Vance is pro-Islamic Republic.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill Kennedy. Appreciate that. Marco Rubio is, just so you know. And
he has never directly said that, though, so we shouldn't assume.
Yeah. I'll assume it.
Okay.
And Veronica Redeemed with another poetry phrase. Let me full screen this as well. Sabzi sar chaman sorkh khun man what?
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. سبزی سر چمن سرخی خون من سپیدی طلوع سحر به پرچم نشسته. Oh, those are the three colors of the flag. شرح این عاشقی نشنیند در این سخن بمان که تا ابد هستیم به هستی تو بسته درود از این New Zealand. Oh, is Veronica in New Zealand?
Yeah, the currency is New Zealand too.
Oh, okay, yes. So, wow, Veronica, that's beautiful. So she's saying the green of this grass, the red of this blood, the greenness of the grass, the redness of the blood, and the whiteness of the morning sunrise, right? So that's the flag of Iran, right? So the three colors of the flag, right? So the greenness of the grass, the redness of the blood, and the whiteness of the morning sunrise. All are on. They're all on the flag. They're all sitting on the flag. To express all of this, to express this love. شرح این سخن ننشیند در این سخن is okay. It's I cannot express the amount of love I have for Iran basically in what I'm trying to say. So basically saying my love is unexpressible. Stay, since we're going to be here forever. بمان که تا ابد هستیم به هستی تو بسته. So stay because we're going to be here to forever, and our being is tied into your being. Basically, I think us existing is tied into Iran existing. And then hi from New Zealand. Durud as New Zealand.
Hello from New Zealand.
Guys, this is so beautiful in Persian. It's hard to do it justice when I'm translating it into English.
Thank you for the poetry. Yeah. Thank you so much, Veronica. I love it.
Thank you, Veronica.
And our next super chat is from Nail Bunny, who says fuel is typically adulterated with paint thinner and cooking oil. Cheap stuff.
How do you know that, Nail Bunny?
Where?
She's saying
is this a
when
universal thing?
No, she's saying when. No, she's not like typically, not as in it happens often. Typically, as when you want to adulterate fuel, that's how you do it. Typically, as in this is how it's done. If you want to do it, well, I'll make sure that's how I do it next time I'm trying to adulterate fuel.
Yes, sounds like fun.
It's good. That's a good useful information to have.
Thank you, Nail Bunny.
Thank you. I'll take
Appreciate that. And our next one is from Northwest Czechpea. It says Druze Syrian massacre.
That's Shana. That's Shana in the shower.
Since they changed their username, I thought maybe I would just read the.
No, she told us Shana. It's a cleaner version of Shana because it's in the shower.
Gotcha. Oh. Druze Syrian massacre. Druze wanted to join Israel. Druze are also an ethno-religion. You can only be Druze if both mother and father are Druze. Israeli Druze are overrepresented in special forces. I've never said that word that much.
Druze Syrian. Wait. Oh. Israeli Druze are overrepresented in special force? Good. Yes.
So they're capable.
Thing. Yes.
They make good soldiers, apparently. Cool. But why didn't they join Israel? Why can't they? Maybe they're too far from Israel to be able to do it?
No, there are many Druze that are already Israeli. You can they don't give citizenship to people just because they're Druze. They do give it to them because they're Jews, but not Druze. But there are many Druze that are already Israeli.
Now, I was wondering if they have a piece of land for themselves already, but it's just not next to Israel, so they can't officially join. But the people, yeah.
They have land in Syria, and there are Druze in Syria that want their part in Syria to be part of Israel. They want Israel to come take over that land and make it part of Israel.
I see.
Yes.
Thank you, Shauna.
By the way,
I hope that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. The Israelis love Druze. Oh my God. The Jewish Israelis By the way, my point, you know, Ali, what Druze are? And Israelis love Druze. They adore Druze. Okay? And Jewish Israelis especially adore Druze. And they consider them blood brothers. Right? And you know, hey, Salt Queen, I know you hate to hear this, but you know what the Druze are? They're Arab. The Druze are Arab. And Israel loves them. And Jewish Israelis love them. And they're proud to have them. and they're some of the best fighters in the IDF. There you go.
Nice. Sweet.
Yes.
Thank you, Shauna. I didn't know that.
See? Yes.
Appreciate that. And our next super
OGA.
chat is from
So see, she's saying, "Don't call me out." Okay, I did. This is a great example, by the way, for not judging people collectively.
Yeah, good point.
Yes.
And Fizz Andrews, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that very much.
Thank
And
you.
Deborah Friedman. Oh, this is for you.
Oh, well, Deborah, like, to me, like, poor baby. Here's a pity super chat. Okay, you know what? I'll take it. Ali doesn't like the pity super chats. I'm okay with it. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Appreciate that super chat. And our next one is from Agent Anderson.
You know what?
Says,
You're like, money for the poor, sir. I don't know. Should I have? Like, okay.
it's like if you're just sitting on the side of a road and someone walks by and just flips a coin at you, and you're like, "I'm not homeless. What are you talking about?" Our next one is from Agent Anderson.
Just say thank you. Okay.
Yeah. And it says Armin
ego,
equals the hardest working man.
Ego problem. No, wait, the ego problem, because you're like, I'm not a homeless person. Or like, see, that's your ego speaking. But okay.
Armin equals the hardest working man in the show business.
Oh wow. Okay. You just boosted my ego, Agent Anderson. Okay. Thank you,
guys. Let's make me win tomorrow to bring his ego back down.
No, see, like somebody was like Deborah was saying, like, here's some pity super chat. So my ego went down, and now Agent Anderson is saying, hardest working man in show business. My ego went back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Agent Anderson.
But Deborah, I'm just joking, Deborah.
Fizz Anderson says, Liberty Politics, we got you, Bug Brother.
Bug Brother. Me and Fizz Injustice are Bug Brothers.
Yeah. And Mia Schreiber, who's been a member for 3 months, says, breaking, Trump officially announcing economic war. I know, right? I feel like this is geared towards China the most, because the two lifelines are UAE and China. We got the UAE now. Now it's just China. But let's see if he's willing to actually pressure them.
China is going to be hard, though. It's going to be really hard but it can be done, because you're not basically, you know how you could pressure China? Like, we're not doing China. We're not pressuring China. It's just these Chinese companies that we're sanctioning, and tariffs. Mm-hmm. Okay, and also, by the way, guys, tariffs and sanctions are two very powerful tools here. And President Trump also, the new bill that was passed with the tariffs, because the tariffs are not meant for the Islamic Republic. The tariffs, 100% tariffs, are going to be meant for people who are dealing with Russia and the Islamic Republic. So so you could put sanctions on the Islamic Republic, and then you could put 100% tariffs on countries who are dealing with the Islamic Republic and Russia. This is the bill that Lindsey Graham was working on before he died, and then it got passed. So this is also adding to this whole economic isolation. So one thing you could do with these Chinese companies is, instead of going anti-China, you could pretend to be like, we're just going after the companies there. These companies, we're going to put sanctions or tariffs on them because they're dealing with the Islamic Republic. So there is a way to do that, but China has more ability because China wants, their energy, and China has a bigger ability to push back against the United States compared to the UAE. So it's going to be difficult.
It will be difficult. Let's see if he's willing to go all the way. He only has to go all the way for a short period of time if he's going all the way. Let's see. I'm excited to see now. That's what I was waiting for. Thank you, Mir Schreiber. And I'm Your Sensei says, we need the real Ghalibaf on the show.
Our Ghalibaf is better.
Yeah.
No, we have a better Ghalibaf. Where's our Ghalibaf? He's not here today.
He's not here today.
We need the. You know, the real Ghalibaf does watch my show. I'm almost convinced. I'm joking. But the Persian show, many times I give advice to Ghalibaf jokingly, and the next day after he does it, it has gotten so bad that some people in my audience actually got convinced that he's watching our show. And people were begging me sometimes in the Persian show in the comments, Armin, stop giving him advice, you're helping him. That's how I would joke around like, Ghalibaf, this is what you need to do. And the next day he would do that. And people were like, what the hell is happening? Stop giving him advice, Armin.
There was like a couple of weeks where you didn't give him advice, and then he fell from the number one position.
Yeah, I stopped giving him advice, and then he lost all of it. He lost his power.
How terrible. Thank you, Amir Sensei. No, but we'll have some cool guests for you guys next week.
Yes.
And our next one is from Edwin Landman, who says, do you see signs of an upcoming attack from the United States on the Islamic Republic? I see it the other way around. I see signs of an attack from the Islamic Republic on the US. I think that's how it's going to kick off.
Unless the Islamic Republic plans an attack that is too big, and the United States will notice that they're planning that, and they have to preemptively attack. So it is possible for US to attack the Islamic Republic, because right now the Islamic Republic has been cornered, isolated, and it needs to break this blockade that it's in right now. So it's going to lash out. So we're waiting to see how they're going to try to lash out. And the Americans and the Israelis are observing this really closely, and if they see that the lashing out is going to be significant, they might want to preemptively attack them. So that's possible.
Yeah. I think good question, Edwin. And thank you, Eskifapala. Thank you for the jewels. And
thank you.
Shay Mohabbi says, hang Iran Mohammad Nouri hast. Make it, the dots get in the way. What's it say there? Oh, yeah, me too. I love that.
Yeah. So Iran Mohammad Nouri has So I think the what Veronica was saying. That's what he's saying. It comes from there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Thank you, Shay. Appreciate that super chat. I can play it. That's what I played on the soundtrack for you guys.
Okay.
And our next one is from Northwest Chickpea, or Shauna. Says also, Arabic is a language family. Many Americans who speak it as their home language identify as Arab. So we want to be clear what we mean. In reference to the Druze?
Speak it as their home language. Yeah, so Arab is so Shauna is pointing out that Arabic is not referring to an ethnicity, is referring to a language group. Actually, she's right, because it's more when it comes to referring to a language family, it is more scientifically accurate than an ethnicity, because ethnicities, the way people use them are so unscientific, and there is no clear line where an ethnicity starts and another one ends and another one starts, right? But it's more accurate, their lines are more black and white when it comes to language families, right? So for many people who identify as Arab, it's enough for them, not all, but it's enough for them to speak the language and as their home language, for them to identify as Arab, even if they're so Shauna is basically saying that, when we're talking about Arabs, we're just talking about so many different people, and it's only enough for you to be able to speak Arabic as your home language, and also identify as Arab for you to self-identify as an Arab. So that's how broad that is. And that's why it doesn't make any sense to be like, oh, I'm anti-Arab. This is like, okay, so you anti somebody who speaks the language and identifies as it because he speaks the language as a home language. Like it doesn't tell me much about you. Okay. It's not correlated to blood or DNA or anything. It's all over the place, right? Does that make sense? Like it's a very arbitrary way of categorizing people that doesn't tell me anything about your views and your stance and what you. So why would I want to demonize a whole bunch of people just because they belong to this very vague category?
Yeah. Thank you, Shauna. Appreciate the super chat. And Rod Miller with the 10 jewels. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Shauna with another super chat. Thank you. Who says, be careful mentioning banks in London. We don't want to alert the city of London to what we're up to. I'm joking, by the way. I'm not.
Ooh.
The city of London better watch out. I mean, man.
Guys, the evil people behind the scenes that are pulling the strings are not the Jews. It's the people that control the banks in London.
It's the Europeans. Oh my God.
It always has been. Secretly all of this time. You have to be careful.
You know, Shauna, in the older generation of Iranians, a lot of them, it's very popular for them to hate the United Kingdom. Just FYI.
Kar Inglesias. Have you heard that phrase? Kar Inglesias. So you know, guys, how? Yes. So you know how it's common now for us to make the joke when something goes bad. We say, "It's the Jews. It's the Jews." Of course, everything is blamed on the Jews. So for a very long time in Iran, the phrase was, "It's the English. It's the English." Like anything bad happens, it was a phrase that this Kar Inglesias. Yeah. So basically blaming on the British, the English.
Yeah, they were such massive mess ups that they got that reputation in Iran. And they really were. Yeah. Thank you, Northwest Chickpea. Or I gotta stop saying that. Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you.
Our next one is from Alexia, who says, I'll give Ali a like and super chat the day he stops saying and etc. Kidding, perhaps. Hava to daram. Javid Shah, Payende Iran. Much love. Do I really say it that?
Thank you. I've never noticed it once.
I don't know.
Does he say it?
That's an excuse for you to send a super chat to Armin. I see.
Yes, he will never stop saying it.
Yeah,
so keep me
I think.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alexia.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Alexia.
the super chat.
Now from now on, we're all gonna notice. We haven't noticed it once, and now because Alexia pointed it out, we're gonna notice it forever. It's gonna start getting annoying.
That's a good way to get someone psyched out.
Yes.
I mean, and our next one is from Nail Bunny.
Oh, you just said it, by the way.
Our next one is from Nail Bunny, who says, no, criminal fuel gangs adulterate with that stuff. Methanol, toluene, turpentine, xylene, etc. And it ruins cars. I'll explain later why I know this. Sure.
Nail Bunny
why do you
has
know
this
that?
secret
Criminal gangs?
Nail Bunny, okay. She has this secret alternative criminal life, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. Nail Bunny used to be part of a gang, you guys. I didn't know that. Jesus.
That's what they're doing in Iran. The government is putting methanol into the fuel, which is destroying the gas tanks of the car internally. And thank you, Nail Bunny. Appreciate that. Let us know later.
I'm imagining Nail Bunny like in Fast and Furious, people are saying, like fixing cars and engines and speeding. Like this funny and okay. Dope.
And Noah sent us a super chat saying, I'm converting to Islam.
Wait. Wait. She said the opposite. She's police. She's a cop. Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not unusual to get contracted by the...
Nobody's a cop, guys. Shh.
Law enforcement.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, they contract, you know, chemists and people like that all the time. And then Noah says, "I'm
Noah.
converting to Islam." JK, I could never do that. You know, that's a thin line to joke about right there.
Noah, repeat after me.
No,
Ashhadu
no,
anna
no, no, don't say,
la
no,
ilaha.
no, no.
Okay.
Don't say the oath. Ugh.
Okay.
Thank you, Noah. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Noah.
And our next one is from Ariksan, saying, Ali, if you want to understand what Israel does in Syria and why, talk to Mansour Ashkar. The Druze are central for Israel's motivation in this arena. No, I get what they're doing. I understand that.
I had Mansour Ashkar on. I had him on as a guest. Great guest. Loved him.
Sweet.
Great guy. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe you.
You guys saw my? Have you guys seen my interview with Mansour? It was really good. I love it.
Thank you so much, Arik.
Loved it.
Thanks for trying to introduce someone to me like that. Really appreciate that.
Sure.
And our next one, Jagatai for the 10 jewels. Thank you very much.
Woo!
And we have
Thank you,
more
Jagatai.
poetry. Let me full screen this again. Mohreto Chon. Wait, what? Did I just read that wrong? Mehr or Mohr?
Mehr.
Mohreto Chon. Okay, you just read it. Oh, she wants me to read the whole thing? Okay, you go for it. No, you go for it. I'll keep reading.
مهر تو چون شد پیشم دور از تو نیست اندیشم در راه تو کی ارزشی دارد کی ارزشی دارد این جان ما پاینده باد خاک ایران ما مهر تو چون شد پیشم دور از تو نیست اندیشم در راه تو کی ارزشی دارد این جان ما پاینده باد خاک ایران ما.
دور از تو نیست اندیشه‌ام در راه تو که ارزشی دارد این جان ما پاینده باد خاک ایران ما. Yeah, that's how it's sung.
So basically it means that your love, when it's with me, when your love is with me, you're talking to Iran here, right? So you say, when your love is with me, then my mind is always going to be on you, on Iran. In your path, what is it? Nothing is worth. My life is not worth anything as long as I'm on the path towards you. So basically meaning that I'm willing to sacrifice my life for Iran. And Payand Bad Khaki Iran Ma means long live the soil of Iran, the soil of our Iran.
Yeah. Yeah, what value does my life have compared to Iran? Long live Iran. Thank you, Veronica. And I think someone else also gave us a super chat in Farsi. Maybe it's pertaining to this. It's a super, okay.
Oh, this is Marza Porgahar, yes.
فرق میکنه با ای ایران مرز پرگوهم. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a different Iran? I didn't know there was a different one.
So we have two Iran songs, and this the Iran Marz Porgahar is not the same song as Iran from Muhammad Nouri. By the way, guys, so Shay Moabi, there's a part of my brain that cannot memorize songs. So that's why I would never be able to tell which one is which or memorize. Like since childhood, like we were supposed to in school memorize poetry and come sing it. That part of my brain completely locked. Like I cannot memorize poetry for some reason. Or
memorizing was always my strong suit. Like I could just read it once and remember it. Yeah. Thank you, Shay.
Thank you.
And again, Veronica, by the way, this phrase and a lot of these is just stuck in my head all the time because I've played this song like a million times. practicing it growing up, so it's perpetually stuck in my head. And thank you. Appreciate that very much. Our next one.
I was just kicked. Wait, who? I was just kicked out of the salt call.
Oh, no.
Did I? Is it me? I was
happened?
in it for half an hour and I got kicked out. I don't know why. Because I can't memorize, I think. All right, let's go back. Shauna. Clean. This is not Shauna. This is clean Shauna. Clean Shauna.
Clean Shauna says those perfidious Albions. Albion is the old word for Great Britain, for context. Perfidious. I've never heard that word. Perfidious means deceitful, untrustworthy, and deliberately faithless. Oh. That's Old English, okay? Thank you. How do you know that, Shauna?
Shauna is like an encyclopedia. She knows so many things about so many things. It's like, I'm like, why do you? Sometimes she comes and says something. I'm like, why do you know that? How do you know that? She knows a lot about history, about culture, about religions.
Shauna knows things. Yeah, true. Thank you for the super chat. Perfidious. And our next one is from S. Kifapala. It says, just imagining the spike of the Iranian S&P composite index when everything gets back to normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not financial advice. Do your own research. But I will buy. I personally would be buying it. All in.
Yeah. So
to the moon. Yes.
Oh, it's sci-fi. Okay, it's sci-fi Paula. Sorry, I was pronouncing that bad. Yeah, so then from the lectures that I saw about the new government, they're going to be limiting foreign investment. So you might have to be a citizen and live there. You know, you might need some exclusive benefits. I'm just saying.
Temporarily.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So temporarily, because we want free markets and international trade and international investment. But the reason why it temporarily will be closed to foreign investors is so that Iranian people get to be able to first get a share of their own country. And it doesn't all of a sudden, like, because if you open it right away and then all of the foreigners come by and everything, and then the Iranian people are poor, and they kind of like all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, the entire country is gone to foreigners, right? So it's good for temporarily giving the Iranian people a chance to buy things and then opening it up to the world.
Exactly. It'll also cause massive problems if hundreds of billions of dollars are just poured into the economy. The Iranian currency will be devalued. So sci-fi.
It would be overpriced.
Yeah. Sci-fi. You might have to move to Iran and become a citizen. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for the super chat. And Jagatai with the 20 joules. Thank you very much. All right. We did it. Today was a big day.
Big day.
We got the economic operation underway. And tomorrow and the day after, I'm excited to see what becomes of that. Interesting. He did post it at like when the markets were closed and on a Wednesday. Let's see.
Magnum Opus is saying 20 Jews? Like, no, jewels. Not 20 Jews, jewels. Okay. Thank you for the 20 Jews. Oh my God.
All right, guys. That's our cue. So, guys, please. We have Agent Anderson as well, who says, for centuries, Catholic Good Friday prayer was about the perfidious Jews. Oh. Wow. For centuries. Everywhere, or was it like in a specific country? Let me know. Thank you, Agent Anderson. Interesting. And we have a super chat from Tao Fei. Thank you very much. Says, see you in Iran soon, kid. I may need a couple of young Iranians to help me walk through the main market, but there you go. I'll be there I'll be there so fast, you guys might not even notice me missing a stream. I'm not even kidding. So I will go and I'm looking to live there, so I might go through the same problems you guys might go through, interestingly enough. So yeah, definitely. Thank you, Taufeh. Appreciate that.
Wait, let me see you in Iran soon, kid. I may need a couple of young Iranians to help me walk through the main market, but yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be many people who will do that.
Yeah.
Wait, I missed the previous super chat.
The previous one was from Agent Anderson.
Oh, from Centuries Catholic Good Friday prayer was about to... Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
And then he says, until 1962. Well, interesting. Dang. Thank you, Agent Anderson. And thank you, Taufeh, for the super chat. I'll definitely show you around. I'll show you guys all around. And with that, please make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, well, you could see Ali in how many hours?
45 minutes. I got to go eat and take a break.
45 minutes, guys. Ali will have a discussion, a group call that is free to join, and it will not be recorded. It will not be live streamed. The link to the group call is in the QR code at the top left. The link is in the description. The link is also in... Let me actually put it in the chat. Just go there and join the group call and talk to him. It's going to be starting in 45 minutes. So anybody can join. Don't miss it. You could ask him anything and talk to him, give him your opinions or ask him questions, and he will be there. So go talk to him today.
See you guys there.
All right, guys. Cool. See you guys there. You guys can see Ali there in 45 minutes. And we'll see you guys here on YouTube same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukrainian. Cuba Libre. Taiwan Jiayo. Long live America.
Long live America.
Javid Shah.
Hayende
Iran.